All right, Ryan, I saw a couple other people doing this online, and I just wanted to do it because it seemed fun. We're going to do a quarterback draft, going back and forth, picking who we would take as a quarterback. If you were the GM of a team, you're picking any quarterback from the lot to be your guy. We're going to go back and forth until we get to 16. So we're each picking 8. Basically, kind of be our top 16 quarterbacks, including age and all that, however we see fit. It'll be fun. I'll go first. Without further ado, I think it starts off relatively easy. Number 1 pick in the quarterback draft has to be Patrick Mahomes. He is already an all-time great. There's nothing I can say about him we haven't already said. He's number 1 on the list easily.
Yeah, number 2, I'm going to go Josh Allen here as my first pick, and it's not just because I'm a Bills fan, but it's really because I'm a Bills fan, and I think that Josh Allen is, we've talked about him a ton too, but just as far as being on the team and being that guy that you have confidence in, I think he could be that guy. I just think he would be a much better guy with a different head coach.
I agree with you. I think those are the easy ones. Mahomes and Allen, that's exactly where I would go. The third one is interesting.
Yes, it is.
Because it was an easy pick, but I'm starting to get worried about the injuries. However, if I was starting my team, he would still be right here at number 3. He'd be my next call. You took Allen. I would want Joe Burrow. I am worried about the injuries. We can't ignore it at this point. It's something we have to consider, something we have to talk about. But when he's on the field, which has been more than he's not, he is the best quarterback in the National Football League. What I love about him is he plays quarterback the way it used to be played. He plays quarterback from the pocket. And Joe Burrow is death by 1,000 cuts. And I know you've experienced this as well, being a Bills fan when y'all have played them. It's just like, oh, back to pass 3 yards, back to pass 4 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards. And it's 2 quarters of that. You're like, can we ever stop him? Like, it doesn't matter how good a defense you play, he's going to find something. We were there for that AFC Championship game in Arrowhead that Kansas City blew the lead. And in the second half, Kansas City's defense just couldn't stop him. No matter how good they play. And he's slippery. He's sneaky at escaping pressures, escaping sacks. He's an incredible quarterback, and I hope he can stay healthy because the league is better when he's in it. He's who I would pick next.
Yeah, I'm going to go Lamar Jackson here. And
I love that.
I'll tell you why, because not only do you have the legs, right, that we all know that is terrific, but Lamar's arm talent has gotten so much better just this last season, really. And it's shown that he's actually a quarterback of multiple talents. He's not just a one-hit wonder, run on the ground, escape the pocket, do wild things. Like, he can actually play tried and true X's and O's football. And that's what I really like about him. And, just after this season, seeing how far he can take a team and he can actually carry the team, like, honestly, carry a team. I love Lamar Jackson. I put him over Jalen Hurts, mainly because Jalen Hurts, the way he ended last season is just, it's hard to blot that out of my memory.
I'm surprised you would have Hurts this high, so he's going to still be available to you in a minute if you want him. To piggyback off of what you said about Lamar real quick, I agree. I think we've known that about his passing, but anybody that was still a doubter has been silent. Even the late doubters of Lamar, you can't say anything. The man is an excellent passer. He's an excellent runner. He can kill you any way he wants to, really. The knock for Lamar is he had been hurt. 2022, 2021, he had been hurt both seasons. That's what we said going into last year. We said we need to see him be healthy a whole season. And what did he do? He went out and won NFL MVP and was in the AFC Championship game. He's still in his prime. Lamar Jackson is arguably the most dynamic quarterback in the league. I love that pick. Number 5, my pick now, is easy for me. These picks are easy. I might have even taken him 4. Give me my boy CJ Stroud from Houston.
Oh,
I think he is already one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the league. Now, obviously, you can't really know until you see it again because your rookie season, a lot of teams aren't expecting. You're catching people off guard. But the way he played, he's one of those guys, man. He just doesn't make many bad decisions at all. And I will never forget, me and you, we were in Kansas City when that Georgia-Ohio State playoff game happened, and we were supposed to leave. We had a dinner reservation, and we were glued to the hotel beds watching CJ Stroud's performance in that game because
our jaw dropped.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. And we said that night, we're like, if he can do it against Georgia, he can do it in the NFL. And he absolutely has. I love watching him play. He makes so many good decisions and so many throws that you just can't believe he puts on the money. It's like he hands the ball to him. CJ Stroud's my next pick.
My next pick here, I know I just talked about Jalen Hurts being here, but looking at the list, man, and I know the guy's older. And this is actually, I don't know if you caught the latest interview with CJ Stroud, but this is actually his favorite quarterback, quarterback to watch. And that's none other than old Matty Stafford, man.
Damn it. I was hoping I'd have him next pick.
No, you will not. I'm not letting him fall past my grasp here at this pick. I think that Stafford, even though you may only have 2 to 3 years left, or maybe even longer, we look at what Tom Brady did, even though I think he's an anomaly. But Matt Stafford, his no-look passes, that's what C.J. Stroud kind of credited to him. He's like, I love watching Patrick Mahomes because he does things that like you can't write scripts for, you can't teach that. He said, but Stafford is where he got the no-look passes from, and just his ability to kind of throw defenders off. C.J. Stroud credited Matt Stafford to a lot of that. And so that made me kind of reevaluate my pick here and go with Stafford instead of Hurts. So
every time you watch Matt Stafford play, you're like, holy shit.
Dude, he played through a broken, collarbone or arm or something.
He's one of the toughest quarterbacks of all time. Remember in the game against Detroit last year when he got hit, and you could tell by the camera, he got knocked out. Like he was out cold, his eyes were cross-eyed, and he came to and got up holding his chest so they wouldn't pull him out of the game.
That's exactly right.
He's a tough son of a bitch. He makes every throw in the book. You every time you watch a Matt Stafford game, there's 2 or 3, oh my God, throws. He is awesome.
He reminds you every time you watch him of why he is one of the best.
I'm so glad he went to the Rams because now we all are appreciating him properly, because even I underappreciated him. Now that Stafford's off the list, it becomes interesting. I could go a lot of different ways here, but there's one guy I won't, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to take Justin Herbert. I'm going to take Herbert.
Okay.
We talked about in our Prove It segment, he's got to prove it this year, but we've seen, we know the physical ability is there. He's got a great arm. He makes decisions. He can make every throw. I wish he used his legs more, because you go back and watch his tape at Oregon, he ran a lot. He scrambled a lot. I don't need him to take off all the time. I don't need him to be Jalen Hurts or, Kyler Murray, but I do want to see him use his legs and get yards, because there's times where he rolls right and he's got room to run. He's a big guy. He can run over a couple people. You don't have to be Josh Allen. I just want to see him utilize that part of his game. But without a doubt, if I'm getting to pick my quarterback for my team at this point, I can't let him slip any further. Most people would probably say it's blasphemy that we let him get this low, but hasn't quite lived up to potential, but the talent is there. No doubt that he's a great quarterback.
It's our list, so I don't really care. And
Good
that
point.
also opens the door for me to put Jalen Hurts here. I can't let him slip another position down. I can't let you get him next, because I think you may actually have of these two that I'm going for. But Jalen Hurts is where I'm going. He's proven that he can be a terrific quarterback. He can use his legs well. But I think last season he got caught up in using his legs too much, and he tried to put the game on his back. And they also went off the run game. That was a really big problem for the Eagles last year. They kind of abandoned that and just said, you know what, Jalen, go on, Jalen. Let's
and his defense
do your thing. Well, yeah, that too. That doesn't help anything. But
it doesn't.
I think Jalen Hurts, this late in the picks, he's definitely people are going to be mad that we probably let him fall this far. In some of these lists I've been looking at, he's top 5, and I don't see that. But
no, because here's the thing, and we've talked about it. I'm sorry, but this is where it boils down to for Hurts. He's great. I love him, but last year wasn't as good as 2022. What I want to know, and I don't know this yet, did Shane Steichen get all there? Did Shane Steichen just get the most out of him, and no one's ever going to get that out of him? Was that an anomaly, or is that the level he can play at consistently if he has a good to great offensive coordinator? Or is that just what he looks like when you pair him with a genius like I think Shane Steichen is? I think Steichen's a wizard. I don't know if Hurts will ever look like that again. So if he doesn't, he's still a really good quarterback, but he's not a top 5 for me unless he can duplicate that level of play. So we'll see. I still like him though, and I agree with you. I would not have taken him over my next guy though, personally, just because I'm biased and I like this guy a lot. Maybe I'm wrong. Give me Jordan Love, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I know he made a mistake at the end of the divisional game last year against the 49ers. You're like, oh, why'd you make that throw? But before that, the guy played almost perfect in the playoffs. He brought Green Bay back. He really understood Matt LaFleur's offense. He shined. We see the Rodgers in him, from sitting behind Rodgers. We all thought no chance after sitting that many years he's going to come out and do it again. It can't happen. And he really impressed the second half of this year. And that's what impressed me the most. It started out really rocky. He battled through adversity and became one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch. I don't know where it goes from here, but right now the future's bright. And I just love watching Jordan Love play.
Whew, this is where it gets really, really dicey.
Yeah.
Right here at number 10, I got to take my boy Jared Goff.
I like it.
And he's proven that he can play football and play it to a high level and, actually take a team further than you thought. He's one of the most accurate passers in the league. And I think that gets overlooked a lot, right? Like, he doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and the mistakes he makes now, they're god-awful. But when he's not making mistakes, which is most of the time, he's a fantastic quarterback. Now, he's stuck in mud. He cannot move, but he doesn't really have to, he can dissect that defense better than any of them. I mean, he's really, really come a long way going to the Lions and playing for Dan Campbell. So I got to go Jared Goff here over all the rest of these guys.
I agree. Yeah, that's where I would have gone. I'm surprised that he's played his best football with Dan Campbell, which is surprising, instead of Sean McVay. But he has. I love him. No doubt to me that he's a top 10 quarterback. That's where he lands. At number 11, for my pick, I could go a couple different directions here. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is where it gets really difficult.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm torn between two guys, but I'm going to go with Dak Prescott. I know we give him a lot of grief, but the bottom line, and this is what the narrative is, he's excellent in the regular season, he's bad in the playoffs. That has been true, but hey, his defense can help him. I mean, his defense, the great Dallas defense, did let Jordan Love put 45 on him, okay?
Yeah.
So, sorry. And Dak Prescott, did kind of get them back in that football game to an extent. Sorry that he struggled in the beginning and he looked up and they were down 30. That's not all on him. I think that's one of the things we look at their playoff games, and because his playoff games most of the time haven't been good, we're like, Dak Prescott can't do it in the playoffs. It's like, okay, but the rest of the team collapsed around him too. And if you put him with a Matt LaFleur, like if he was in Jordan Love's situation, I think he absolutely could win a Super Bowl. I think he's talented enough. So he's right there outside the top 10 for me.
Number 12 for me, Brock Purdy. I got to go with him, man, because it's just he's the obvious choice here, I think. And look, I've given the guy a lot of grief, and I still don't think he is a top 10 quarterback. Obviously, why I'm picking up number 12. But I think that he is capable of going to that level. I just haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I saw it at the fourth quarter of the playoff game. Like, he kind of won the game
against the Lions.
There. Yeah, he won the game, and kudos to him. Great. But can he do that all the time? And because there's quarterbacks out there in the top 10. There's 10 of them at least that can do that consistently. And I need to see that from Brock Purdy before I move him up any higher. But from all the guys left, he's definitely the clear-cut choice here. I love Brock Purdy. I really do. As much grief as I give him, I still actually really like the guy. And I also love him just in the personal life too. But fantastic quarterback. He's perfect in the Shanahan offense.
All right, next up for me, I'm surprised we let him go this low, but 2023 was rough. There's questions around him. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's still very talented. I think the best is yet to come. I don't know. I still believe. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't think all the problems last year were him. I like Trevor Lawrence. He looks like the quarterback you'd build in a lab. I'm honestly kind of mad at myself. I let him go this low, but I'm taking him now.
So number 14, right? I got number 14
That's
here.
correct.
I'm going to go, this is so difficult because there's two guys here. One guy, if it wasn't for the injury last year, I would take him, but I got to go Tua right here. Tua's proven that he's actually gotten a lot smarter. He's taken jiu-jitsu classes to avoid injuries and learn how to fall, and he's done all these things. He's lost weight this offseason, so he's
That's good.
Hopefully going to be a little bit quicker than he was. But he is dynamic when it comes to the passing game, right? I mean, you know that he can slant those balls better than anybody. He throws those balls. He can slant those balls, man. He throws one of the best slants of any quarterback in the league.
That should be Dolphins t-shirts. They should have t-shirts that say "Slant those balls."
Slant those balls to yeah, but look, the guy is an awesome quarterback when it comes to the short range, mid range. He's got to work on that deep ball. He'll never actually get there, if you ask me. Like, I don't think he'll ever have that perfect deep ball. I think as it stands right now, and these guys left, I think Tua is my best shot going forward if I'm putting a quarterback in.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I would have taken him, but we've definitely seen that he's a talented quarterback. I'm torn here because there's the injury. The injury worries me. It really worries me if I was going to. But out of these guys, out of these guys, we might be talking about different guys. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my choice last pick. So
all right.
It was Tua and Rodgers I was trying to decide between.
Now, do I think a 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles is going to be great? No.
Saying it out loud
I don't.
is painful.
Right. That's the thing. People think because Brady did it, now everybody's going to do it. It's not going to happen. And by the way, his last season with Green Bay was average. It was average.
I cannot stress this enough. When you hurt one Achilles, there's a 50% chance you hurt the second one.
Correct.
Now, times that by the age of you being 40,
right?
The percentages are not in your favor.
However, I do, and maybe this is dumb, I kind of do believe that Aaron Rodgers has that I'll show you mentality. I mean, when they drafted Jordan Love, the dude won back-to-back MVPs. So I think if there's anything left, I don't know what he's going to do this year. But in this case, if we've already gotten to number 15, I've got to pick somebody. If I'm the GM, I'd rather roll the dice on Aaron Rodgers before any of the guys left. That's just me personally. I'm not saying he'll have a great year.
Pick 16, you didn't take him. I was hoping you wouldn't, and I'm rolling the dice here, man, because it's my team. I can do what I want. Caleb Williams is where I'm going at 16.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Haven't even seen him play, but as much as he's been talked up, hyped up, and put up on a pedestal as one of the greatest quarterbacks to come out of a draft in 38 years, like, this dude should be good. I'm gonna risk rolling the dice on him and pick Caleb Williams here at number 16. He's my last pick of the draft, and I think that what he's shown me in college, if he can duplicate that like C.J. Stroud did, even 80% of what he did in college, he would still be a terrific quarterback and worthy of being in a top 16 draft.
Looking back, I kind of overlooked him. Looking back, if I could redo, I would probably take him at 11 when I took Dak. If I was being GM, if I was really operating, because it's just because he's a rookie and the talent. But I like it. I like that he went 16. So that's our list: Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Stroud, Stafford, Herbert, Hurts, Love, Goff, Dak, Purdy, Lawrence, Tua, Rodgers, and Caleb Williams. Dude, got a lot of good quarterbacks in the league.
Oh man, it's going to be a great season, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm literally so excited. I'm just counting the days.
Does Aaron Rodgers finish this season fully healthy and miss no games?
No, he does not play 17 games.
Okay,
maybe
not
he
count
finishes
just sitting out because like playoffs or something. You're just saying like for health reasons he won't play 17 games.
He will not be healthy and start 17 games. No.
All right. Yeah, I agree.
I'm not so. If he comes and that'd be an issue. If he comes back and starts 17 games, I will genuinely be surprised. But I'm rooting for him because I just want to see good quarterbacks play football.
I think we'll see a lot of shotgun from Aaron Rodgers because you don't have as much pressure on those heels when you have to drop back from shotgun or from under center. So just look out for a lot of shotgun snaps from Aaron Rodgers this season.
But it's all going to come down to the offensive line. I mean,
that's it.
They have addressed it, but they've addressed it with older guys that have been injured in the past. They drafted one, but we'll see. If the offensive line holds up, he might can be okay. But it all comes down to that. We'll see. I can't wait for the season. Next time we get together, we'll talk some Justin Jefferson. We'll talk some Jared Goff. Thank you all for listening. See you guys later. Goodbye.